Warworth Eastern Connecticut senior captains Jessica Charron and Natalie Stepniewski, the Warriors swimming team, getting ready to open up their season. They'll be going back-to-back October 28th and 29th to open up the season. Natalie, you guys have been, your preseason is about over. How did it go?
For this preseason, it was definitely different than the other preseasons we did. I think it was a good introduction for all of us, especially the freshmen, but there was a big jump from yardage from the beginning, and we had a very intense lifting schedule compared to when we used to, and it was intense. We had voluntary lifting, and I don't know if you want to add to the lifting, but...
Yeah, Natalie started to do the voluntary lifting before season even started, which I don't think we've ever done before in our 4 years here. And then as soon as season started for swimming, lifting started that same week, which was, we haven't done that before either. Normally it's like a week or two later. And then, yeah, the yardage went up really fast. So we were very sore and very tired compared to past seasons. But I think it was kind of good this year. There was a positive after we were recovered and everything, because we have our first meet the 28th. And I feel like, and Coach agrees as well because she said something yesterday, we all feel and we look as, like, we're much more prepared this year. Like, we're in a lot better shape now than we were last year. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it should be a good start to our season. And it was hard beginning, but then we kind of kept going up and up and up, and now it's like a good gradual increase. So.
Well, when you guys said the preseason was a little bit different in terms of lifting earlier and those kinds of things, being the senior captains, is that something you suggest to the coach, or did that come from the coach?
We did suggest that lifting to be more intense, to be more structured, to have the before, because, you know, we usually had the week of swimming. So the first week of swimming, we don't lift. Mm-hmm. And then the girls are kind of like, hey, teach yourself how to do this. We have freshmen that have never lifted before. They don't know the lifts. They don't know the concepts. They don't know what to do. So I think that having more of a, let's have a voluntary thing, it really worked for a lot of girls who never lift. We did have freshmen that would come in, and that's where they learn, so then they could pick up and not be behind. So they are actually not just learning, they're getting better during the season.
Well, how important is lifting to swimming?
I think lifting is pretty critical to swimming, because you think of high school, you went and you swam and you did your practices, but you didn't do any dry lands or any core work or anything to help build your muscle mass that you need, especially for the distances that you do in college. Like, high school is only hundreds and like 200 free, 200 IM, and the 500. College, it's everything. So you need to be prepared to do all your sprints. So you have like the 50 free, the 50 fly, and then you need more stamina, more endurance, more strength to be able to do events like the mile, the 1,000, the 400 IM. Like, those are really big, long, tiring events that you need a lot of endurance and a lot of strength to be able to do. And I think that lifting has helped me personally very much, and I enjoy it to the point where I do it out of season too. So I
That's the goal.
Yeah,
right.
I do enjoy lifting very much, and it was great to start it early. I think the girls this year caught on a lot better, especially compared to my freshman year. We had a very hard time getting caught onto it.
Yeah, it wasn't structured. We didn't have Coach Jones, and I think Coach Jones did make a very big impact in teaching us and hiring people that would teach us. Little rocky our sophomore year, but
that was his first year.
Right.
But now there's a lot more structure to it, and I personally love the program a lot more. I think that the structure of lifting is a lot better, and it does help us in the pool a lot. Coach loves doing planks and push-ups, so we do a lot of those because we need a lot of core work for our flip turns and swimming, and then obviously all swimmers have man shoulders. So.
Well, are you saying, I don't want to belabor the point of lifting, and we'll end it here, but is lifting different if you're strictly a sprinter, regardless of what the event, a stroke is? Do the people who do mostly sprints, do they lift different than someone who's basically a distance person?
I don't think so, but I think the types of lifting they do would be more important. So doing more speed work, like doing squat
that's
jumps.
what I mean. Yeah.
They would probably want to do more of those than do more like squats where you're working on like building your leg muscles to be able to kick longer for like for distance swimming.
And Coach Jones sort of would help you out in terms of developing your program, right? Depending on what you do, what events you do, or what strokes you do. Does he tailor everybody's program differently, or is everyone doing the same?
Everyone's doing the same.
Yeah.
So that is something
I feel like
to consider.
It'll get there. Yeah, we might get there like down the road, but I feel like it's
not now.
I'm happy it's just structured now than it was before.
It's beneficial. Could you feel it last year? Did you guys feel stronger last year?
I feel stronger this year.
This year
Yes.
than last year.
This is the best that I have physically felt ever during swim season. Like my body, how much it could take, how much it could do.
Really?
Yes.
So you can see the results.
Yes.
Definitely. You can literally see the results on some of these girls.
I've never been as muscular. Like my shoulders are, I've never seen them like this before. So it's a little scary, but you know, like there's times where I lift very hard. So I'm not doing as well in the pool because I'm tight and stuff. But then when I have that day of rest, the next day at like a 6 a.m. practice, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like I'm rested. Not really, but...
Well, do you find yourselves recovering quicker from a pool workout because your muscles are more toned?
Yes.
You're able to stretch out a lot more
Okay.
rather than lifting. You're constantly doing weights, and I don't think you're taking time to stretch in between. But for swimming, we do like 100 easies between each set. So you're doing like an active recovery to kind of let your muscles relax a little bit to get back to like where they were before, like a really hard set, and then perform again to do like the same thing over again. So yeah, I think swimming you can come back a little bit faster from it.
Well, the swimming season is the longest season by far of all the athletes at Eastern. It's even longer than basketball. How do you get through a 6-month season?
I have no idea.
You've done it 3 times. You got 1 more to go.
You just kind of survive. Like
We help
Yeah.
each other.
we
Yeah.
do. We're very, I must say about our team, because I never had a team this encouraging. We pick each other up. You kind of look forward to be able to like just go in the locker room after and talk, or go in the trainers and complain and be in pain together. And I just like hang out after, talk about it, vent about it. Like we're all in this together. Like people handle things differently, but this sport is not subjected to one person. It's really about all of us. We're all in different levels, but we all handle it differently, and I don't think, even though it is individualized, we're all in it together.
Yeah, like if I were to go and do a practice by myself, I
Miserable.
wouldn't do as well as I would if I didn't have my teammates there. Like we push each other in a positive and sometimes negative ways, but if we didn't have our teammates, I don't think that we'd be able to finish it. And we also have that mindset, like you're swimming up and down a pool, going back and forth for 2 hours for a practice. Like mentally, you get so bored sometimes, and you're singing the same song over in your head, and I feel like having your teammates there kind of makes it much more lively, especially Natalie, because she loves to sing to us. So. Try to sing to us.
Try. That's the key.
Is it very hard? I mean, there's not a whole lot of people in this program that have got through 4 years. When you look back on it, isn't going to be a great accomplishment? Like, wow, I did something that a lot of people tried to do and really couldn't do.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, after we're done, we will look at it this way, that it was such a big accomplishment, but to us, like I said, it's so individualized. We have our individual goals in our head. So if we don't achieve those goals right now, it's like the end of the world. We don't think about the bigger picture, that we're doing it and that we're completing it. Like the bigger picture to us is our goals. But I think like when it's all done, it's over. It's weird to say. You're graduated, you look back, you see pictures of the new people in their new season, you're kind of like, wow, I got through it. I can't believe I did all of that. Like,
It's mental and physical, right?
Oh yeah.
The strain on you.
Like our season's so long, we're more than physically prepared
Yeah.
to be able to do our races and compete and show up and do the work. But if you're not checked in mentally, then you've already lost the race before you've dove in the pool, literally speaking. So. Yeah.
Were you guys talking? We talked a little bit before off camera that were you guys in some ways sort of disappointed with the way the season ended with your performance in the New Englands?
Yes.
For me, absolutely. Yeah. I think that I thought that I was so prepared, that my body was where it was supposed to be, but I just was not there mentally. I was a nervous wreck. Where LECs was placed this year compared to the time before really screwed up. Yes, a lot of people.
What was placed last year?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And this year, I guess, yeah.
Right. So LECs is usually in December, where the CT Cup is now, but which we never had before. We never had the CT Cup, and then now it's 2 weeks before New England. So our bodies are just jumbled and confused.
Well, do you think, since it wasn't pleasant, but since you did it last year, can you be more prepared for that change in the schedule this year? Can you do anything?
Yeah, I feel like we as captains as well, like, definitely have to go into this season with much more of like a positive mindset and positive attitudes to help the other girls to be able to do it too. Because even our freshmen who weren't used to the schedule struggled with it, so we have to be able to help the freshmen coming in as well. And then even the rest of the girls as well, because even some of our other upperclassmen didn't do as well because we were all just like mentally checked out. But I feel like if we're there for each other and we do the practices correctly and we still like work really hard, like we'll be able to hopefully overcome last year and do better. Like going off what Natalie said earlier, we all have our personal goals and they're very big personal goals, and I feel like we felt like we didn't do that well, so because we didn't meet our personal goals, we but we didn't help the team to do as well either, because our personal goals contribute to the team goals, so.
It gets carried, and
Yeah.
I think that the biggest, right.
They overlap a lot.
And I think the biggest challenge now will be being open to the idea that LACs was awful where it was last year and it didn't change this year.
Yeah, right.
So now I think it's just more about being positive and being open to that and kind of deleting the negative comments in our brains.
Yeah.
So
There's no use complaining, right? 'Cause at least for this year, it's not going to change.
no.
You guys talked a minute ago about being helping the freshmen and being captains. You guys were voted captains this year. Does that make it more difficult for you being captains? Because you can't just worry about yourself anymore. You got to. What are some of the things that you guys have to deal with on a team basis that you didn't have to do as when you weren't captains? You know what I mean? What are some of the responsibilities that take up a lot of your time?
Yeah, we have a lot more responsibilities as captains. Stuff that we didn't really know we even had to do before, that we're still learning about now, even after preseason's over. We have to do things like the complete clothing order, collect the money, because coach isn't going to keep reminding us every day about it. Like, she's not going to keep repeating herself. Like, we have to do that, to schedule like pasta parties, team meetings, pick the team suits, make sure the girls are prepared and know what they have to do for the meets, because we've been through it every year. So more of like a mentor, as well as like doing all like the behind the scenes, like preparing and everything.
Both. Were you guys getting a text message too while we're on our way up here?
Yes. Yeah.
To do, what was that one about?
Always.
Can you talk about that one or no?
Oh yeah. About how we need to be prepared because we're not getting our suits for the very first meet, so we have to let other girls borrow the ones that we do have, and if we have extras. And then another text was about, oh, I just got the meal orders in, make sure the girls know to check their emails, to check off the meals they want. And you know, it goes much more into than just that. We are we are the leaders, so it's like we are there as a buffer from coach to us. And it's like, if someone doesn't know how to approach coach or is intimidated in general, doesn't know how to approach a situation, they come to us, and you don't want to give them the wrong answer. You want to be honest. Like,
absolutely.
Listen, this is what you do, and I hope it goes well for you. You gotta, tell them what you would do, and try to hope for the best.
And you're sort of in between. I mean, you have the confidence of the coach. You can't betray that, but you also have to
help the team.
Yeah, exactly right. You got to sort of be in the middle, right?
Yeah,
it's a great learning experience.
There's been situations brought to our attention where rules have been broken, and we have to reinforce those rules.
And it's hard. It's so hard. You know, we don't want to be those
the bad guy.
The bad guy.
We're a part of the team.
Yeah.
So
might the coach say hey, this happened on the team, that's not acceptable, you've got to enforce that. And it sort of lands on you guys, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, to make sure they're doing this the right way.
It's a heavy weight, but I think it's a good weight because we're still able to do our sport, and we're still able to compete and do well for us and do well for the team, and have that relationship with coach. And it's a great learning experience. Being a part of any team sport is a great opportunity for your future, because you have that structure and that organization, and you have that strong work ethic. We swim. We don't.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the work ethic that we have is very, very hard. I know that Natalie and I, we both push ourselves a lot. So
for a 6-month season.
For 6
The only good thing about being a captain is that you no longer have to go to class, right? So you don't even have to deal with that stuff.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. My whole education is put on hold.
You have to squeeze that in too. Maybe an internship, maybe a seminar. You've got to do that.
Right.
I know, at least for this semester, I'm commuting from home, so I know Natalie does this too, but I don't think either of us have missed a class.
Never. In my 4 years here, I have never missed a... 3 years. Okay, sorry. 3 years here. Almost 4. I've never missed a class.
Yeah, we have the structure not only for our sport, but academically as well. This is... As swim season's gone on, my academics... And we say this to incoming girls, too, who are looking at schools. Our grades and our academic performance is never better than it is during season.
A lot of athletes say that.
Right.
Because you really got to structure yourself.
Responsibility and the discipline.
You don't can't leave something.
Yeah, you can't leave it. Because if you have a meet that night, you can't do it that night.
Yeah.
You've got to get it done.
Right.
And we need our rest and to eat properly, take care of our bodies, mentally relax for some time.
Yeah.
So
not a lot of sleeping in during the season, right?
No, I haven't slept in since season started. Sleeping in for me is 8, 7:30. Wow. So that's a really good morning.
Yeah.
And a bad morning is 5:30, right?
Yeah, I would say.
More 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, our alarms go off at 5 a.m. for practice.
Right.
For 6 a.m.s twice a week, and then we have 7 a.m. lifting on Friday. And then it's the same schedule next semester, plus doubles. So on the days that we have 6 a.m. practice, we have afternoon practice as well.
But there's lifting somewhere in there, too. So don't you worry about that one.
You're going to get your lifting in, too, then, right? In addition to double sessions.
Oh, yeah.
So, on Mondays, you'd have 6 a.m. practice, lifting at 12, and then practice again at 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, we'd only have afternoon practice. Wednesday, same schedule as Monday. Thursday, just afternoon practice. Friday, we'd have morning lift and then afternoon practice. And then Saturday, we'd either have practice or a meet.
If you have a meet, you don't practice, do you, that morning?
Depends.
Depends?
Yeah. If it's a team that,
Believe.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. It could happen.
So
you
we'll
could do
have
both.
Last year we had a practice before. We had our first meet this year, our first, the start of our meet season this year, we have a back-to-bets meet. So we have a meet on Friday and then meet on Saturday. Last year we had the same thing, and both of the teams we were competing against, we knew we were going to win.
Yeah.
So we had the meet on Friday, and then Saturday the meet was kind of midday, so we had an early practice, and then the meet.
To get a real
on
workout
Saturday.
in.
Right.
That was
Well,
hard.
Eastern Connecticut opens up its season on October 28th and 29th. They're going to go to St. Joseph on the 28th. Then they'll be back in action the next morning at 11 a.m. They'll be at Regis College with Bridgewater State. Ladies, good luck this year. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.